Welcome to jobskillshare.org. This is a second video of learning from real world scenarios, and you can go to jobskillshare.org, Jobskillshare YouTube channel, and there's a playlist learning through the real world scenario. This is actually the second video, so if you don't understand what I'm talking about, please watch the first video, and I'm going to also put that playlist link in the description of this video. So in this video we are going to decide that now, after the first video, we have decided two options for our users to share big files with vendors and work with each other. So we decided which one would be the better option here. So users would call, let's say for example in your company you go and start working, and let's say these users right here, let's say these are two users. Sorry about my drawing. These are the two users. They have uploaded all the files on Dropbox, so I'm going to call this Dropbox right here, and in this basically they put all the files right here, and then there's a vendor. This vendor basically logs into the account and grab all the information, and they share the files with this vendor. But what if you have lots of users? Now everybody started using Dropbox. One thing, that if they are using a free version, everybody will have their own accounts, and you will have so many vendors working with everybody, and then you may get calls on fixing Dropbox clients and stuff like that that you may not have experience with, or you think that that's not something I should be doing. So then a solution would be to, if you have so many users, then you would go for Dropbox Enterprise solution. So basically you will get an account for your company account, and then everybody will be logging in and dropping files in there, and then however many vendors you have, they can access it through that. Now that would be a really easy solution and probably pretty solid solution, because Dropbox gives you a lot of space and all that kind of stuff. Now the takeaway from this video will be this is not just about Dropbox, this is about any other solution that can work similarly. So this is for any new person to know how do we share big files. So keep that in mind when you're watching this video. So that would be one solution. So let's say you're not a big fan of putting your files on another company, like a cloud-based company. So you'll basically cross this out, and you'll tell these two users that, okay, we got a solution for you. Inside the company, usually they have servers like this, and they're connected and they can access internet, or maybe sometimes they will be on Amazon cloud-based servers, but you still have a full control over that server, and not any other companies are controlling your files. So what will happen is that you will create a server, and usually that is called FTP server. Comes with Windows 2008, 12 servers, 2016, they come with like a role. So you basically go into the server manager and you install FTP server, and then you do the process. I'm not going to show that in this video. We are going to do a course on that. So this is just to learn what's going on. So then that server is running a server, FTP server, and what happens is that now in this server you can create folder. So let's say for example you had 500 GB you have 500 GB space in there, and in this you can create many folders for each department of the users. So let's say you have a lot of users in this solution. Now the cool thing about this would be that if you have Active Directory and they're inside the network, or maybe using a VPN connection, they will not need anything else. They'll just, you can create a folder here, and on the desktops these people can just directly access the files, edit it, and work around. Now this would be a great solution for a company that works on their files first and then share with the vendors. The vendors basically then access it through FTP clients. Some are secure, some are not secure. So if this is a vendor, they will download a client. I'm just going to call this a client. They will download a client on their machines, and then they will use the FTP server name, username, password, and they will access a specific folder depending on who is working with what department. So this is kind of the solutions that you have in the enterprise level. Two solutions to keep in mind. You may go to an interview and people will ask you about, do you know about FTP? If you don't know anything about FTP, then this is what FTP is. Go and do some Google search on it, learn something about it, go watch a YouTube video, or you can wait a little bit, and we're creating a full video on FTP servers, how to create it, how to share it with users, clients, troubleshootings, all that kind of stuff, how to contact Microsoft if you have issues with the FTP, or you can go for a Dropbox free solution to kind of start testing files sharings and things like that, or you can go for the enterprise level, which is free for 30 days, I guess, and you can play around with that kind of settings. So this is going to give you a really nice idea of how files are being shared. We're not talking about just a user sending a big file so then another user all somewhere in different world can just get it. We're not talking about that. We're actually talking about an ability for two users to work with each other and what would be the best solution. So in this case, if a person have a client access, they access the files and they can work on it, edit things, all that. And while the company guys right here don't use a client, they just directly go into it because you mapped it, you shared it, whatever you did, they can directly access and work with each other. That's kind of like the big thing I'm talking about, that people can share things quickly, open files and work with each other. In this case, the same thing, you will have a client on your desktops and people will be working with each other, and the files get synced on the cloud and this person can get access to it, so they work with each other. Now in this situation, you have different sites that can send a big file for you. You can even use a FTP for that purpose, just to get the file, or maybe you can use OneDrive. Also have ability where you can tell OneDrive that this specific folder can be shared with other people, or this specific file can be downloaded by other people, even if it's, let's say, 20 GB, like that. You can put it like a zip file and then this person can download it. So there's a lot of abilities. We are going to cover a section in one of our courses, either help desk or system admin courses, where we are going to create a similar unit on what are different ways to share files with each other and technically show that in screen sharing the way we do training. So hopefully this kind of gives you something to take out. Again, the main purpose of this video is to, I should have said this in the beginning in the first video, but let's say this is a house and you don't know anything about how, you don't know the term of house, and in this there's a swimming pool. So first I told you that this is a house and I explained that people live in there. Then I said that this is a swimming pool, then people swim in this. So you understand two terms. This is a house, this is a swimming pool. That's two things that you learn. But actually swimming inside the swimming pool is a whole another, this is a different story. You need to learn that it requires a lot of practice and knowing things, right? So this is what I did in these two videos. I told you that there's something available. First of all, why are we working on it? People have issues with files and we needed a solution. Then I told you two things, FTP and Dropbox and OneDrive. These are the main ones these days, but there are many more that can do the same thing. Then I explained some situation here, and that's where I was talking about that now the next step is going to be actually learning how to swim. That's a total different story. That's what we are going to do in our screen recording, where you can see things by using applications and all the other crazy things that goes around. So again, think about all this stuff that's happening right now before even we get to that point. And that's how in reality we work. We don't just jump into learning software skills and things like that. We have to go through all the meetings, talk to people, mapping drives for each computers, the time that is spent on this, all that kind of stuff. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in a different video.